This is a very brief look at using data for an approvals process. So once you've logged in to data, go to the approvals tab up the top of the screen. Anybody can create an approval and assign different people to the approval. So I'm going to create an approval, and I'm going to call this one demo approval, just for the sake of it, but you would name the approval to the appropriate name of the resource ID. So I'm just going to call this MTAS because I'm going to use the MTAS approval system. The comments in this case will be demo, but you would put any appropriate comments that you wanted for this particular resource ID. So you'd name it, for example, to the skills point, and the individual unique name. There's a link here that describes the different types of names you can give the different documents, but it would be the appropriate resource ID for the MTAS. So the first thing I'm going to do is navigate and find an MTAS, find a TAS document. So I've got an example here. So I've just uploaded that document. The last thing I've got to do to start the process is to choose the MTAS schema. This sets up the appropriate roles for the approval process. There will be other approval processes added over time, but this is the one for the master TAS. So because I've chosen that schema, it allows me now to search from people. For the purposes of the demonstration, I'm just going to add myself in all the roles. I'm taking out the world, but of course you would need to add the appropriate people for the different roles. I'll just do that briefly. You can add any person from AD, and you'll have a record of the people that you've added. That will be in the log of this request, and of course if it's incorrect it can be changed. So okay, I'll just assign myself to the 3 roles, and you can update the comments any time as well. So I'm going to submit this approval now, and it's saving. You'll see it's saving approvers, and what it's done is emailed the 3 approvers, which in this case all happen to be me, an email to let them know that they've got a request for approval. So what will happen? The people in the mailing list will, when they come, I'll just open and show you briefly what you'll get in the mail. So for example, a master TAS has been submitted by me and it is ready for me to review. So you can, a tip here is to right click and copy the hyperlink into Chrome or Safari. If you just click it in the email, by default Outlook will open in an Explorer, but you don't want to use it in an Explorer, you want to use either Chrome or Safari. So right click on the request, and that will lead you to the approvals page, which will look like this. The 2 screens, so I'll just talk about the top one. These are approvals that need my attention in the top field, and there could be any number of them. I will have got an email for them, but you can see this is the one that I'm just showing you now. These are other approvals that aren't completed yet. We can see that the one that I've just started is pending, and it's in its first state. I've got both bits of information because I both sent it and received the request. What I'm going to do now is go to the request. So this is the David that needs to approve something, and I'll look at the MTAS document. So I'll open the MTAS. There it is. I'll go through and have a look at the MTAS document and make sure I'm happy with it. And if I'm not happy with it, I would decline the approval. So I'll do that scenario first. I'm not happy, and explain the reasons why. And for example, see the attachment, which in this case would probably be a marked up document. So I'm going to look for a document that I can say I'm not happy about this. Oops, sorry. So I'm going to say this is not happy Campo. So this is my I'm just uploading my marked up document that has the information about I'm not happy, and I'm going to in this case say that is not approved. Now the message will go back to Dave Gilchrist, myself, that I'll just let that happen. The not approved, yep, So it's been sent to me. I'll go back to here again to show you what that looks like now. So now we can see that this this is not approved. It's on hold. It's in the state called on hold, and the reason, and as the owner of the first approval request that I sent to myself in this case, I'll just have a look at what's going on, and it tells me that it's not approved. And I've looked down here in the comments. I can see that I'm not happy. See the attachment. So I would read the attachment, the markup, or whatever was in the comment. And when I've made the appropriate adjustments, I would now reload the master TAS. So we've got to replace the first TAS that we put up there, and come back now with our second master TAS, which in this case I've just called example 2. I've got to re-choose my schema, and I've got to resubmit the people again. This is because the logic behind having to resubmit the people is because in the meantime, the process, David might have went on holidays, he might be sick, he might be on leave, whatever, all those variables. So I need to reassign to this new now updated document the people for the different roles again. So I'm going to do that, and the system will let David know then that that's occurred, that there's a new TAS now. And I can see down the bottom, because it's all me, I'm seeing everything at once. I can see now, oh sorry, I didn't put in a head of skills point. That was an error that came up. I just hadn't completed the process. So I need to put in a head of skills point. I've just gone up a couple of pay grades. And now it tells me that it was successfully approved. If we go back to the screen now, I could navigate right back to the front, but because I'm logged in, it tells me now that it wasn't approved. The other two steps are blank because it never went to the senior manager or the head of skill point in that scenario we just did. But now it's telling me I'm up to step 4, and there's a resubmitted document, which is this document up here now. So again, same process. I'll open that new document now, which has the new information, and review it. If I'm happy, which in this case I'm going to say all good, put in any appropriate comment. In this case, because I'm happy, I don't need to upload another document. I'll go, that's approved, move on to the next person. And I'll just do that again, because there was some sort of, the network is having issues all over the place. There's probably those where, as I'm doing this. Now it's telling me that David has been notified that it's been approved, so we can see now that that the product manager has approved it, and now it's gone to the senior manager. If the senior manager is not happy, same as before, add comments, not happy or whatever, the reasoning why, attach the document if you want to attach the markup, but the main thing being that it's not approved. So I'm going to, I won't do that because I'll have to go back through this, but basically I would reject it, or in this case I'm going to change my mind. I'm happy with the information. I'm going to go, you may sometimes, I've noticed on the first time, get an unsuccessful. That's because we're having network issues across the state. So you might have to click the button more than once. But basically now it's been approved by the senior manager, and it goes to the skills point, same thing. They either make comments, attach or whatever, but in this scenario I'm going to say, yep, everybody's happy. That's the document again that we're talking about, and I'm going to finish the whole process. So now if we look at the, I'll see that it's been through all the approval processes, and I've just got an email telling me that, sorry, that was the email before, telling me that this document is the one just come through now as we speak. Yep, saying that this one the approval has been successful, and we can look at the history here. So that again, right click, copy it into Chrome. That will show you, take you to the direct link of the history of the document. So now, this is the document that needs to go in the Learning Bank, because this particular approval process, we have the record here, is for this document. So if I was to open this document, and that's the document I would need to put into the Learning Bank in the appropriate place. Okay, that's a short description, and I'm hoping that it makes sense. And basically, you will have any when you log into the approvals, by default, any MTAS that need your approval or need something for you to do will be in the top area, and if you click on the bottom area, you'll start a new approval process.